Beyond the Broom with the NSA, sharing information, innovations, and market trends shaping the commercial cleaning industry. We sweep away the noise to bring you the insights that matter.
Oh, did you hear that, Debbie?
I didn't hear anything.
Silence. The government's still shut down, so we still do not have data for our NSA market commentary. But we're back. We're back. We're going to switch it up because
We're
we do
not
not
shut
have data.
down.
We're not shut down. But yeah, so we wanted to do a market commentary, get that out this week, but unfortunately, data's still coming in. CPI came in last week. It was running at 3%, but we're still missing um, some additional talking points and data points. Today we just wanted to kind of talk about the um, office market space and kind of where we're at right now or as of the end of the third quarter, and kind of have a chat around that, throw some details and facts in on what we're seeing, what the trend is, and kind of go from there.
Sounds great.
So I don't know. I read a report last week with a lot of it regarding New York, especially New York City. So as of quarter three, 2025, office vacancy stood at around 20.6%. But actually, New York vacancy decreased to 14.8%, which is the lowest in 5 years. And they're really, according to the report, enjoying the biggest boom in nearly 2 decades, which is
Woohoo!
which is good. I mean, New York City, they're
Yes.
the leader, right? They've got all the big businesses, finance and tech and all that. So they tend to be the leaders. The rest of the country, seems to be lagging, you know, not quite a bit. I mean, San Francisco, you look on the West Coast they remain elevated at 35.1%. And then you have, like Seattle and Austin, above 25%. So there's still some struggles depending on where you're at in the country. Hopefully, New York City will be the leader and they'll set the blueprint for, what it looks like going forward.
Yeah, and we talk a little bit about this too. And in our industry, it's really important, those occupancy rates, because obviously if there are not people in buildings, then there's not as much of a need for janitorial companies to come in and do at least the daily cleaning that we were used to for so long, emptying trash and cleaning floors and doing all that. If there's no people in the building, then there's no work. So this is good news for our people that while it does just impact the New York market right now, it's a good sign, and hopefully that trickles out to the rest of the country, and we see everybody having the opportunity to get more people back in the buildings, more business in the buildings, so that they have more work to do.
Yep, agreed. And just kind of taking a look at some of the numbers for New York. Businesses leased 23.2 million square feet of additional Manhattan office space during the first 9 months of 2025, according to CBRE. That seems to be the largest amount of new workspace rented they were seeing for almost 20 years. So
Wow.
I think they're
Wow.
back before they're back up to pre-pandemic levels from 2019. So you can see kind of the what they're doing. They cited a number of different factors as far as why workers are heading back to work. Typically was the financial sector. And what they're saying is that there's an increase for more modern office space. For instance, Deloitte, they signed one of the largest leases this year. It rented nearly almost 3/4 of the new Hudson Yards skyscraper, that's a
Oh, wow.
significant amount of lease space. But you're also seeing the technology, media, advertising companies that are jumping in there. Amazon expanded in New York. They purchased the Fifth Avenue building and leased, I think it was like almost 330,000 square feet, that's a lot.
It's a
And you got to
lot.
think New York City, that's a pretty penny too. They
Yeah.
tend to lead
Yeah.
the most expensive property within the country.
Well, again, and good news for all the cleaners out there, all the companies that are, wanting to make sure that their jobs are there, and their employees have something to do every night, so they don't have to lay people off. So that's great news.
Yeah, and I think CBRE also stated nationwide, just kind of put it in perspective, comparative to New York, office leasing remains about 11% below pre-pandemic levels. So there's still some room to make up there.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about it too, that in a lot of markets, I think we've seen a great pivot from the folks in our industry because of those occupancy rates in traditional commercial office space being down. They've pivoted to other things, whether that's, industrial, because industrial's growing. We're getting a lot more businesses coming in, a lot more newer industries. That gives them an opportunity to pivot into that market, maybe healthcare, maybe more retail, like with, car dealerships and things like that, because those are all still out there. We're still seeing, a lot of those. So it doesn't seem to be a slowdown in that market. So hopefully, people have found other things to move into, but, it would be great to be able to go back to those class A office buildings and build that occupancy rate back up.
Yeah, and I think we'll get there at some point. I mean, when the pandemic came, that took out, look how quickly everything moved to shutting down. First 2 weeks and then another
Sure.
2 weeks, and then it kept going. So it was hard hitting. Typically, things will come back a little bit slower than they went down. So it's just going to be time and patience. Like you said, pivoting into some other avenues to, generate revenue and go clean different space. I think over the next 5 years, things should tick up. We should be in a pattern where the Fed is easing monetary policy, should make money a little bit more cheaper. Folks can have a clear picture of where they want to invest their dollars, whether it's capital expenditures, new technology, new areas of the business where they're going to go and try to clean different properties. So I think it's just a matter of time. Just have to be patient and stay knowledgeable of what's going on and where you should be positioned.
Yeah, I agree. And finding other avenues, other revenue streams for yourself is important, but that's been a big core piece of our business. The commercial office space has been a big core piece of our business for a long time. So it's great again to hear that at least in New York City, it's booming back, coming back at higher rates, and we look to see that trickle out to the rest of the country soon.
What do they always say when it comes to real estate? The three words: location, location, location. So that's where the high quality properties, um, really in great locations are really going at a premium right now. Just to show the dollar value through November 2025, office sales reached $33 billion, which is that's a significant sum of money. And the top five cities included Manhattan, the Bay Area, kind of San Francisco area, DC, LA, and Dallas. What do you think the most affordable region is right now?
Out of those
No,
that you listed,
out of all the regions, the most
out of
affordable still is going to be it gets really cold up there in the wintertime. The
oh,
Midwest.
is it? Oh, yeah,
Well, Chicago and Detroit and Cleveland.
those areas up there. Yeah, yeah.
They're most affordable. They're still up, but it's again they've after the pandemic it was really hit hard. So
Well, that
again those
Detroit market has struggled for quite some time.
yeah, think
When
about
they lost a
this.
lot of business with the car manufacturers and everything.
It was booming '60s and '70s with the car
Yeah.
plants and all that. So that's you can see if you've been to up in that area recently, you can see it's kind of it's turned around from where it was.
Well, I think they really are, making huge strides to try to bring people back into Detroit and, build that space back up. And so I would imagine that you probably can get some pretty good rates on, business space up there, on real estate space up there, because they are, I think, probably incentivizing people to come back
Yeah,
and rebuild that area.
Chicago had the highest year-to-date sales in the Midwest. That totaled $826 million. Average price was $60 a square foot, which is well below the national average. The national average is like 190 a square foot or something like that.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so it's definitely affordable. There's a lot of A lot of businesses moving around trying to make decisions. I think again comes all back to where we're at with tariffs, where we're at with the Federal Reserve, and everyone's just kind of looking for a clear picture to make those decisions on what they want to do that's best for their business. So there is a ripple effect, right, for a lot of these
Sure.
landlords. A lot of them are caught between falling rental incomes and rising debt. There's like $290 billion in loans um, secured by properties that are set to expire or mature by the end of 2027. So they
Oof.
need to figure out, what they're going to do if there's people not in those properties, right? They're losing money. They're charging less. The supply demand, is causing the prices to get pressure on them to decrease. Refinancing is difficult, and defaults start to take place. Once that happens, you're starting to put pressure on regional banks. You're getting less
Right.
tax revenue for cities. So there's major impacts, implications that come in if folks are not back in the office
Yeah, and it's
renting these
it's a
spaces.
true domino effect, right? All of that one thing affects another, which affects another, which affects another, and the circle of life. But in the real estate market, I think that it's still very everybody's very tenuous right now, and waiting to see what happens, and at the same time I think everybody wants to grow and get back to doing what they were doing before. It's just finding the best path forward to do that.
Yeah, and you mentioned pivoting your business model, identifying some other areas where you can get into. But a lot of these towers have converted to like warehouses, apartments.
Yeah.
But think about it. You think about the challenges you have there. Lots of red tape. You got zoning restrictions, structural challenges. You
Sure.
got to think about the plumbing, the utilities,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
finances.
absolutely.
It all comes into place. So hopefully, everything is one big business cycle, and I think we're towards the end of this one to where we'll start seeing some things get more normalized and back to kind of the old ways.
Well, we hope so for everybody. We hope so for the business world, and certainly for our industry, that things continue to improve and businesses continue to grow so that there is more opportunity for our industry, more opportunity for new businesses or for existing businesses to continue to grow. So that's all we can hope for, and at least this is a positive sign that maybe we're headed in the right direction.
Yep, I agree. So this was again, this is we're just kind of touching on some of the real estate aspects, as we didn't have the market commentary this week or this episode. Hopefully, we get some more data in. We can get that out to everyone, and then do another follow up podcast on that. But yeah, I think this was good.
All right. Well, we hope you're seeing positive changes in your area, wherever you're listening from. We hope that you continue to see things change and rebound from, obviously the pandemic. We're still in that hole that we're trying to dig out of. So we hope you continue to see changes and keep listening to our podcast, and we'll keep trying to bring you as much information as we can.
All right, take care, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.
Beyond the broom, beyond the broom.